what do you think separates people who make six figures and only stay at a six-figure level to those that break through that level to seven figures consistently, or even 8 and beyond?
Yeah, well, that's easy. I think that one of the things that keeps people from 100,000 a month is 100,000 a year. One thing that keeps people from 500,000 a month is 100,000 a month. What do I mean by that? Like, you get to the place you think, I'm there.
I'm good. I made it.
But I've got news for everybody. And this is a great financial principle. There is no there. The journey is the there. And so if that's the case, if I've become, let's say, a millionaire or a multimillionaire or a decamillionaire, if I become that, am I there? I'm not there, because the whole purpose of me being is for me to be becoming. And so it's not necessarily all about the money. Robert Allen did me a favor. You know who Robert G. Allen is? Author of Multiple Streams of Income. Okay. Creating Wealth. I was at one of his wealth retreats one time, and he asked for a testimonial. And I literally had one of his audio programs in my car for probably 6 years. It was called Infopreneuring. I had it in my car for 6 years, and I applied a lot of stuff, and it helped me make a lot of money. And he asked for a testimonial. I'm like, yeah. I used to be a trash man I came up on stage. There's 700 people there. I used to be a trash man making, $6.25 an hour. Now I make $30,000 a month. I'm living like a king. He said to me, wow, you're doing really good. Here's what he said to me. He said, you're about to have a breakthrough to the really big money. And I thought, my first thought was,
30 grand's it's not a lot of the money already.
Right. I thought, did this guy just diss my 30,000 a month in front of 700 people? That was my first thought.
From $6.25 an hour to 30 grand a month?
Right. And then I thought, wait, there's a level where 30 grand a month is not a lot of money? Well, now I have a business where if it does 30,000 a day, it's not a big deal. Like, and I don't mean 30,000 in a day. I mean 30,000 a day, 365 days a year. That's not a big deal. But if Robert Allen wouldn't have said that to me, that expanded my thinking in ways that inspiring me couldn't. Motivating me couldn't. He just said, yeah, you're about to have a breakthrough. Basically he said, you think you're doing good. You don't even know what good looks like.
Yeah. It's interesting. I had Grant Cardone on the show a few times back in the day. And I think he was at like, I don't know, 300 million in assets or 500 million or something. And I go, what's holding you back from $1 billion? And he kind of got like really frustrated. He's like, well, it's just not possible right now. And I was like, well, if it was possible, what would need to happen?
Come on now.
And he's like, he just kind of getting frustrated. He was like, well, I'd have to do this and this and this, and I have to, all these things. And then a year later, he comes back and he crossed that $1 billion mark. And I go, why don't you have 5 billion? Like, just,
right.
Not that you have to.
Right, but why not?
What would it take?
What's the difference?
He goes, it's just, well, now, like, $1 billion that was the number. Like, it's like, come on, this is just too unrealistic now. It's like, it's not going to happen. I go, but if it had to happen, what would need to happen in order for that to happen? And he got really frustrated this time. And then he said, you know what? Gosh dang it, Lewis, you always do this to me. And then a year later, he came back and he was at 5 billion. And I'm not saying I'm the one who did this, but I was just allowing someone to think differently. Right?
Yeah, if you challenge somebody who's a fighter. Right? If you challenge somebody who's a fighter, they're gonna go prove it. They're gonna go figure it out.
Yeah.
I'll show you.
Exactly. Yeah. But it also, and I think we all need someone to challenge us to just see a different possibility.
Right.
Like, cool, what you've done is great.
To see past the horizons.
And that means you have to make 10 times more to live a good life. You're living a good life.
You're living a good life.
Yeah.
But if I could make 10 times more, why wouldn't I?
Yeah. And what would need to happen without you burning out, with you having more free time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the answer goes back to the same thing I said before, who and how many. The who I serve would have to be different, and how many of those who would be different.
Yeah.
And most people think I'd need to serve more of a different people. It's actually that you need to serve fewer of a different kind of client.
Give them greater value and charge them more.
Give them greater value and charge them more. Or give more of the right ones of them greater value, charge them less, but give them, see, most people say under promise and over deliver. I hate that. I hate that phrase, under promise and over
deliver.
Just, how about this? Promise big and deliver even bigger.
Yeah.
How about that? And most people, when they think of over delivering, what they mean is cramming a bunch of junk in there that's useless, so you become overwhelmed.
Get them more results.
Right, exactly.
Make it easier,
more is not
better, faster
is better. Yeah. Exactly.
That's powerful, man. What's a question you wish more people would ask you that they don't ask?
You know what's really fascinating to me? Like, I have a lot of friends, like friends, like people that I love that are friends of mine. And probably as many family members. My mom had like 11 siblings in her family. My dad had 6 in his family. Like I've got a lot of cousins. I've got cousins I haven't even met, like first cousins. No, not first cousins, second cousins I haven't even met. Okay, so cool. I'm shocked that people don't say, hey, Myron, I'd like to do better financially. What do I need to do? I'd happily tell them. I don't know that they'd happily do it, but I'd happily tell them. It blows my mind.
Why do you think people don't ask you that?
It goes back to the very first thing we were talking about. They don't believe it's possible for them. They believe more in their I am nots than their I ams. I am, I'm not the kind of person who could become a millionaire. Really? What does that mean? If people would ask you, somebody like you, to help them, and you could,
I'd do it.
You'd do it. Yeah. If somebody that I care about, especially, would ask me to help them, and I could, of course I would do it.
Yeah.
I don't know that I wish more people would ask me, but I'm fascinated that more people don't. Because if I had known me when I was a trash man, I'd be
asking yourself every day.
What about this?
Yeah.
Because I was asking other wealthy friends of mine. I was asking David Mitchell. I was asking Ben Ginder. I was asking Tony Bowling. I was asking people that I got exposed to questions that could help like break something free in my mind that would help me see myself in their shoes.
And what's the thing you're most proud of that most people don't know about you? Maybe something you don't talk about or something that people aren't aware of.
It would be way easier for me to tell you the thing I'm most thankful for than the thing I'm most proud of, because I don't think in those terms generally.
What's that?
I'm thankful that my children turned out to be really, really amazing people.
That's good.
I'm thankful that my brothers and I, we all love each other. Like, not tolerate each other, like celebrate each other. I'm thankful that I finally started listening to my kids. My son told me about Bitcoin in 2012. And I discounted it. I'm like, eh. But eventually I finally listened. And I don't mine Bitcoin. I don't trade Bitcoin. I don't even buy Bitcoin. But I did something in 2017 that made me a cryptocurrency millionaire. Since, I think, April of 2017, I've acquired over 100 Bitcoin, hundreds of Ethereum, and I did it without buying it, trading it, or mining it, which sounds like, well, what did you do?
Yeah.
I just created some offers and I let people pay me in crypto.
Yeah.
And
there you go.
There you go. So that's fascinating.
That's cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
I heard online, I can't remember who said this, but some wealthy, older billionaire guy, when he was asked what's the key to success, or what is your definition of success? And he said, having my adult kids want to spend time with me, not because of my money.
Oh yeah.
But just because they want to hang out with me.
Yeah.
That was success.
There's nothing like it. To have my son and my daughter live in the same city as me, we spend time together. Like, I see my granddaughter 4 or 5 times a week.
That's pretty cool.
It's a joy beyond words.
If now that you know that I'm a father of 2 twins, 2 different, twin girls, what are 3 pieces of advice that you would give me or any new parent on if they could apply these 3 principles or say these things or teach these things about abundance and wealth to their children, to my kids, on repeat, daily, weekly, monthly, throughout their childhood development, what 3 things should I be doing to support their mindset around abundance?
Couple things. Say yes when you can. Make yes your default answer for your children instead of no. Now, when I say yes, I don't mean yes, Dad, give me $100 million. No, that's not what I mean. I mean, hey, can we go do this? Yes. But you need to figure out how we're going to do X, Y, and Z. Like, give them part of the responsibility. So before I give you that, let me give you what I've discovered, which the framework for parenting that I wish I had discovered when my children were young.
Give it to me.
Can I give you that?
Yes.
There are 4 levels of parenting. 4 is an interesting number because 4 is the number of the earth. There are 4 directions on the earth: north, south, east, and west. There are 4 seasons: winter, spring, summer, and fall. 4 elements: water, fire, earth, and wind. So 4 is an interesting number. There are 4, oftentimes when we find principles on the earth, they often show, like, that rule the earth well, they often show up in force. There are 4 levels of value, there's 4 levels of teaching for 4 levels of learning, but there are 4 levels of parenting for 4 stages of child development. The first level is training. That's the first level of parenting. And that's when your children are between the ages of day 1 and 4 years old. You train them. And the purpose of training is to get them to respond appropriately to authority, 0 to 4, it could save their lives. And here's the only response to authority when you're 0 to 4. Complete and immediate obedience. You do what I said, exactly when I said it, not after I explained to you why, but simply because I said it, because you are not yet 4 years old. So that's the first stage of child development. So that's training, so for the purpose of getting them to respond appropriately to authority. Second stage is teaching. This is the hardest stage of parenting. This is age 5, 6, 7, and 8. This is where you start explaining the reasons behind the rules.
What's this phase called?
Teaching.
Teaching. Training,
Yes.
and then teaching.
Training is for response, but the purpose of teaching is so they can learn to reason properly, appropriately with truth. And so you teach them the reasons behind the rules so that they will keep the rules for the right reasons when you're not around. So you're teaching them. And then 9, 10, 11, and 12, that's transitioning them. And what does that mean? That's where you are preparing them with life skills by them doing things with you, to you doing that thing with them, to you them watching them do the thing. So you ask them, what do you want to eat? What are we going to eat for dinner this week? What are we going to eat for breakfast? Okay. What are the ingredients we need to get? And they learn how to make a grocery list, and they go to the grocery store and they learn how to find these things. And then they come home and then they help you prepare the meal. And if it's not you, whoever, whatever the things are that you're working on, that your children are working on with you, they are doing it with you. Get your children started working in your business as soon as they are able. Like if that's 2, 3 years old and they're doing modeling or whatever, and they're holding your book and you're creating whatever, get your children started in your business. Pay them money for the work they do in your business. And you know, there are tax advantages to all of that and all that. When they, from 7 to 17, I think it used to be the ages. I don't know what it is now. My children are grown. That's the third phase of parenting.
Transitioning.
Transitioning. And then when Jewish children turn 13, actually when they turn 12, they get bar mitzvah. Do you know what the bar mitzvah means?
No.
Bar means son, mitzvah means law. So bar mitzvah is you're a son of the law. You are now responsible to God for keeping the law for yourself. You're an adult.
Wow.
That's what bar mitzvah
At 12?
At 12.
Man.
Yes. I was in Israel. I was visiting with my friend Reese, and we were out to dinner with her and her husband. And I said, well, what are your children doing? Oh, they're home with my oldest son. I forgot his name, but they're home with my oldest son. He's 13. He's a man now. That's what she said.
That was
right.
That was reckless at 13, you know? It's like,
right. Well, I'll tell you why that whole phenomenon exists in America. But anyway, so that's trusting your children, because now is when you start trusting them as adults. That doesn't mean
right.
you give them the keys to the car.
Sure.
But it means they are thinking like an adult.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know that in America, before the Great Depression, people would graduate from the 8th grade at 13, and then they would go get a job.
I believe it.
Right. And they were more literate than a lot of high school graduates and some college graduates are now. So why are children in America programmed to remain children until they turn 36? Because some of the business moguls of the past believed in a zero-sum game. And so they set it up in such a way so that they would win at the expense of other people instead of at the empowerment and the embetterment of other people. And they realized that there are 2 classifications of people that you can count on for overconsumption of any product: addicts and children. So if we can get people addicted, which is why the cigarette companies bought the food companies.
Crazy.
And if we can get people to remain children longer, then we can perpetuate our sales to these people forever.
Crazy.
Yeah.
What's the 4th phase called?
Trusting.
Trusting.
You can trust them as an adult.
Trusting. And that's 13 to?
From now on.
And forever, yeah. This has been powerful, Myron. I appreciate
thank you.
I appreciate everything you've been
fun.
sharing. This has been a lot of fun. I've got 2 final questions for you before I ask them. I want people to follow you. They can go to MyronGolden.com or Myron Golden on Instagram, social media, all these different places as well. You've got some great books. We'll make sure to link them up here as well.
Thank you.
Where's one place people should go to learn more about you or to get access to something?
If you want to learn more about my business teachings, just go to YouTube, look up Myron Golden.
Okay.
One of my mottos for creating YouTube content is I never post anything on YouTube that I could not have put in a course and sold. So if I can't sell it, if it's not worth selling, it's not worth posting on YouTube.
That's great.
Right? And why do I do that? I consider YouTube not to be my free content, because it's not free. They have to pay with their attention. I consider it my community service content. This is how I serve people who don't have $375,000 to buy a VIP day from me, who don't have $55,000 to join King Solomon's Court, or $25,000 to buy a 2-day event where I train them on high ticket sales. So I have my YouTube channel as my community service content. For those of people who want to learn more Bible from me, Bible Study with Myron Golden on YouTube. Those are my 2 channels that would help them get the most out of those 2 different aspects, which are really the same aspect, but different aspects of how I teach and what I teach.
Love it. Love it. I want to acknowledge you, Myron, for the content you continue to put out, which is, and the content I see is really around faith and financial freedom.
Yeah.
That's the stuff I liked seeing you talk about, because most people only talk about one or the other.
Right.
They don't blend both of them and make it part of their being.
Right. They've segmented their life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think you've really leaned into it and you've owned it 100%, not been like, oh, let me shy away from this a little bit or only talk a little bit about faith. It's like, here's the principle I've learned that's helped me become wealthy. Let me just share it with you.
Right.
And blending them, I think, is really cool. And there's not many people doing that. So I acknowledge you for,
thank you.
For using your talents and your gifts to serve people and please God. So I acknowledge you for showing up in the ways you do.
Thank you.
This is a question I ask everyone towards the end called the 3 truths.
Okay.
So imagine a hypothetical scenario. You get to live as long as you want in this earth, but it's the last day in this physical realm.
Sure.
And you get to accomplish and create everything you want. It all comes true.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, hypothetically, in the last day, you have to take all of your content, interviews, books, courses, everything's gone. Hypothetical. But on the last day, you get to leave behind 3 lessons. And this is all we would have of your content to remember you by in the world. So all your content is gone except for these 3 final truths that you would share about anything. What would these 3 truths be for you?
One is a video that I did on YouTube about the 23rd Psalm called "You Have to Go Through the Valley to Get to the Vision." That'd be one. Because everybody's going to face difficulty in their lives. 2 would probably be my Boss Moves book, because it's the ultimate guide to scaling any business in 4 moves. We literally show our clients how to scale their business 1,280% in 4 moves. And so I would leave that behind for the business owners. And I think because everybody's going to die and everybody's going to have a loved one who dies, I would probably leave the message that I preached at my son's funeral.
What was the main essence of that message?
That funerals remind us of 3 things. The brevity of life. Even if you did live to be 300 years old, in the realm of time, it's like a fraction of a second. The brevity of life. The reality of eternity. When we die, we don't cease to exist. We just go to a different place. And most people think the place they're going to go to is going to be determined by if their good works outweigh their bad works. They get to go to a good place. And if their bad works outweigh their good works, they get to go to a bad place. It's not how it works biblically. Which brings me to the 3rd point. Everybody needs a savior. That's the whole point. It's really interesting that everything in the Bible points to Christ, but everything in human history points to Christ. What year is it? What year is this right now?
2026.
What does 2026 mean? It means 2026 years after our Lord. That's what it means. Anno Domini, after our Lord. Our dates are based on the life of Christ. It's either before him or after him. Why? Because everything points to him.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
The final question, Myron, what's your definition of greatness?
Oh, that's easy. Serve other people. You want to be great? Serve the most people. He who will be greatest among you. In fact, I did a video on that too, called How to Be Great Even If You're Not Good. How can I be great if I'm not good? Easy. Serve more people. Yeah. Jesus said, who will be greatest among you? Let him be serving a ball. Think about it. Who do you want to spend the most time with? Somebody who every time they're around you, they're trying to get something from you, or every time they're around you, they're looking for ways to make your life better. That's greatness is not what you think you are. Greatness is what other people see you being as you serve other people.
Amen.
So,
my man, thank you.
my dude.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoy this and you want more inspirational content, make sure to click the subscribe button below and click right here to watch what's coming next.